the 28th of October 2015, my sister Ivy bewilderingly managed to convince our mum to make us a YouTube channel so we could upload strange videos to the internet, with our very first one releasing just a day later. Now, admittedly, I say our first video, but I had no involvement in the making of this video, and it took this vile creature about a good 2 or 3 days to finally find out that we had a YouTube channel, and when I did, I made quite a few videos within the span of about 6 hours. But it didn't stop there. In reality, we've uploaded about 800 videos to Durkin Funtime, and whilst most of them are unlisted now, it definitely did help shape my childhood an awful lot.
But that does beg the question, should there be such thing as YouTube channels run predominantly by young children? No, God, no, absolutely not. Quite frankly, nowadays, I don't think that anyone under the age of 11 should be allowed on the internet without adult supervision. But if it weren't for my prior YouTube stint, I wouldn't be the strange, special needs wonder that I am currently today.
But yeah, after I started growing out of the general content we were doing on Durkin Funtime, I then started what is now Central Scotland Buses. Enter the present day.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Me, Mortimer here, and I've been doing YouTube for 10 years now. But yeah, I've managed to convince my mum to make us a YouTube channel when we were both 6 years old and 5.5 years old, respectively. And then we did that a lot for 5 years, and then sort of grew out of it 2020, just because, you know, we got older. Making videos playing with toys when you're like 12 years old isn't the most fun thing in the world. And then in 2021, since I was starting to properly get into buses and stuff, I decided to start bus spotting. And I decided to keep it separate from all my Durkin Funtime stuff because, you know, appeals to a different audience. And now, that is what started Central Scotland Buses, i.e. the extent of my personality. But yeah, I was trying to think of what make for a good 10-year special, and I honestly thought, you know what? I guess just watching through a bunch of my videos from the past 10 years or so would be cool. I know that, you know, doing a reaction video for your 10-year anniversary of stuff is pretty, you know, uninteresting. But I feel like, it'd be a good way to sort of show how much I've changed since I was 5. It's almost as if I went through puberty. As you can see here, I have compiled a Google Doc with a bunch of different videos from throughout my 10 years on YouTube. And I'm just going to be watching them and sort of just discussing, I guess. I know it's really uninteresting, but I feel like it's going to be a fun video. So, I might have forgotten about this for like 3 days. But yeah, what happened was I filmed the first clip, and then I got a really bad migraine because I was still recovering from God knows what illness I had, but it felt like I had like 3 or 4 at the same time. Then, when I finally went to at least export the clips from that over to my phone to edit, I found out that the clips hadn't been saved properly, so they were just freezing on the same frame for ages, and thus my editing software basically said they're corrupt, we can't use them. And then I tried to do that with my phone, and I got through the first 2 videos, and the same thing happened. I don't know what it is, but clearly something with the way I've been recording this hasn't gone right. So my resolution is to use my old Google Pixel, that I used very briefly for filming videos, and I sometimes still use to make, like, completions and stuff. I've got, all the files up on this, and, yeah, I'm currently screen recording this instead. in the hopes that maybe an Android device screen recording will work better. To be fair, I must say, Google Pixels are brilliant phones. I think if ever I were to stop using Apple, I would 100% get like a Google Pixel 8 or something. I know that the latest one's like, what, the 10? But I've never like having the most recent version of a device or whatever. So yeah, I'd gladly settle with an 8, because as high quality as I think my current iPhone 11 camera is, I think I could probably get better with a Google Pixel, because that's kind of like their main selling point. Anyway, our first video of the day is the first video I ever uploaded to YouTube. This is Pot, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuzzy Wuzzy say, where are the babies? We're out here. Annabelle say, we're out here, Bob.
Cinematic masterpiece, 10 out of 10, no notes. But yeah, that was Pot. Yeah. First video I ever uploaded to YouTube. As you can probably tell, I've improved quite a bit since then. Alright, next up we've got Batty Special Tractor. This is perhaps one of the most... It's not really particularly iconic, but if I were to say, think of just 5 random Dirk and Funtime videos off the top of my head, Batty Special Tractor would probably be one of them.
Batty's Special Tractor. Batty's tractor has broken down because it smashed itself. And it is broken.
Yeah, I think that was established.
Check! Guess what? I've called the Fuzzy Mechanic Service and they're coming! Chick's so embarrassed.
Okay, hold on. Can I just check? Did 5-year-old me know what the word embarrassed meant? Or is this some sort of weird lore thing where in reality Chick was the one who broke the tractor and just nobody knows about that?
This is Get Up Here! Follow you!
Jeez, that was loud.
That poster looks quite stupid. It does stick though.
I was really grasping at straws there. Like, at least the stupid poster actually sticks on, guys.
My hammer, my big hammer.
The hammer that's also a wooden cane. That's about 5 times as long as you are.
Fix the engine.
Yeah, we don't need to listen to the singing. I love how I was doing just such a poor job of staying out of the way of the camera the entire time.
Oh no, we made it turn into a table.
Just such a dumb plot. Just like, oh yeah, if we hit the tractor hard enough with wooden canes, it'll turn into a giant table that's also a biscuit tin that plays jingle bells. Yeah.
You're bonded. You're bonded. Hang on a minute. Thank you. Here's a new one.
Oh, okay. Right, okay, so what was the point in even... Like, surely, as soon as they realized, oh, it's turned into a table spontaneously out of nowhere, surely they could have gone to the tractor dealership that was right next to them and just bought an identical Massey Ferguson 270, and Batty would have never known any of this happened. Anyway, that's Batty's Special Tractor done. Right, okay, now we have the fish game. This one I think I remember.
Target, target, target. Target?
Right, okay, I can only presume by Target we were talking about, you know, American Superstore. Why? Oh, boy, that's one hell of a visual glitch. Oh my god, buddy, I think you need to see a chiropractor. I don't think your head is supposed to rotate that way.
My fishing game.
Right, okay, so was the premise of that entire last bit just, this guy's annoyed that they're having fun with their fishing game, presumably because it's very loud, and thus decides to make it rain using a cannon, which causes the game to break, and then one of the other people decides to start beating it with a hammer? Right. Well, that was the fishing game. Interesting watch. Not a very good watch, but it's an interesting watch. Oh god, and now we have Pre-K1. This is a series that we did that was a direct ripoff of this show called Pre-K1 by another child content creator called All About Meep, who was significantly funnier than we were. To be fair, not like that was particularly challenging.
Is Pre-K1. Smiley face. Which iPod to choose?
Okay, right, this annoys me for two reasons. One,
Yeah, no, my brain was just absolute sludge that day. Like, earlier on, one of the girls in my year asked if she could use a stapler I was using to staple two worksheets together, and then I accidentally gave her my worksheets and then put the stapler in with everyone else's worksheets like a complete melt.
One, the icons on the iPod itself are called icons, like app icons and whatever, and the apps and stuff. The device itself is called an iPod. Second of all, I got an iPod Touch when I was like 6. In fact, I think I still have it. I don't know if it's charged, but I know where it is. Give me a sec. Yeah, look, I've got 2012, I think, iPod Touch that I got when I was like 6. I don't know if it turned... Oh shit, it turns off. So I had this that I got on my 6th birthday. For the record, that was in 2016, and this was filmed 9 months later in January 2017. So I don't know why I couldn't have just used this wee thing.
We found it in a Hoovie's piece. We found it in a Hoovie's piece. We found
Brings a tear to your eye. God, we really thought that being loud was just the absolute synopsis of being funny, didn't we?
Okay, no, to be fair, is that entirely different now? Like, come on.
What? You don't even care? How do you even care about not losing on my honor?
Okay, no, genuinely, like 2.5 weeks ago, I was at Buchanan bus station in Glasgow, and this guy came up to me whilst I was filming buses and was like, mate, what are you doing? And his exact demeanor was the exact same as this little irritating fuzzyling. Wasn't expecting 8-year-old Ivy to be foreshadowing Glaswegians, but, yeah. Foreshadowing Glaswegians is an absolutely mad thing to say.
Okay, Glass, listen!
Good God, you're short-tempered.
Glass, I do not want you to explode, so settle down!
Okay, class, I don't want you to explode. Have you rigged a time bomb up to these children? Hey guys, Editing Morty here. I just want to say that this video was just so boring that there are so many times where there's just like a minute of me just staring at the screen without any noteworthy commentary to make. So, yeah. Now feels like a noteworthy time to say I had over 2 hours of uncut footage from this, by the way.
Yay! We got our toys back!
Right, one of those toys is a first Glasgow, I think, X1 timetable? I don't entirely get why these children would need to know how to get from Hill House in Hamilton to Glasgow city centre. I guess whatever floats your boat?
Dun, dun, dun!
Right, okay, so, basically... Oh, that is actually, like, the end of the clip. So, 2 of the children have disappeared. The other one is presumably dead? Yeah, that was Pre-K1. Yeah, what the f did I just watch? Right, okay, so I wasn't going to include this one at first, but I kind of felt like I had to. So basically, just some wee background info or whatever. Pocoyo was a 2003 Spanish kids show that got brought over to the UK eventually and was narrated by Stephen Fry, our Lord and Savior, of course. But yeah, in the mid-2010s, they released this app called Pocoyo Disco, where basically there were a bunch of clips from the show that didn't have any audio on them or whatever, of like the characters dancing or whatever. And basically what you could do is you could send your like songs and whatever from iTunes into the app, and you could like say time the clips to line up with the music and whatever. So with that being said, this is Pocoyo Dance. Now I just want to say, I'm not going to play more than about 3 seconds of this video, and you're going to know exactly why. Yep, that's why. Yeah, I chose Shape of You by Ed Sheeran because I think Divide had released like a week before this had released. But yeah, if I quickly skim through this all, you can just see it's a bunch of clips from throughout the show of like the characters dancing or whatever. Yeah, pretty unnoteworthy, right? Do you want to take a guess at the view count on this? This video, right here, Pocoyo Dance, featuring Ed Sheeran, the full stop, music video, full stop, has 6,924,372 views and 8.9 thousand likes. This is the only video I've ever made to have gotten over 10,000 views before. And it was something I think I whipped together in about 7 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. So, yeah, that's Pocoyo Dance. Next up, skipping forward an entire year and a half. To be fair, 2018 was quite unnoteworthy for us. But yeah, Superdusk was this series that I started that ran for about a year on Durkin Fun Time. Have any of you seen those, like, LOL surprise dolls at, like, your local supermarket or whatever? Yeah, well, me and Ivy kind of went through a phase of obsessing over those for, I don't know, good, if I had to guess, like, a year. But yeah, I got one of the really rare characters and I decided to start, like, a quote-unquote TV show about her. It is rubbish. I once, back in 2023, just decided to binge watch the entire series, and it's rough. If I recall correctly, the first series is basically the only one that actually centers around relatively superhero stuff, and even then it's only like 4 of the 7 episodes. But yeah, I have no memory of the first episode, so this is gonna be fun.
Superdusk under control. Superdusk on the roll.
Right, okay, I've got to ask. Superdusk under control. That makes her sound like she's like Godzilla and is trying to destroy everything. I'm sure that sounded badass as hell when I was 8. Certainly does not now. Okay, it's clear that this is meant to somewhat play off of, you know, I think that one episode of SpongeBob with the butterfly or the moth or whatever it was. I think it'd have only really worked if we were able to insert a clip of a bee buzzing, like, right up against the camera.
Yes, Dusk. Take off your knickers. Okay.
I genuinely thought I said the N-word there. I deadass started zoning out, and then I heard that, and I genuinely thought I said the N-word. Okay, if you're going to use the word knickers, first of all, if you're on the internet, just refer to them as your panties or whatever. Second of all, like, at least try to enunciate the k sound properly so it doesn't sound like you're using a racial slur. To be fair, one of the kids in my year started calling one of the black kids the N-word when I was like 9, and then I asked said kid what the N-word meant, but I actually said it, and yeah, he looked absolutely mortified. So take that how you will. Can I just ask, right, if the thing that makes you a superhero is your ma's briefs, why isn't she just the superhero then? Why am I singing Will Smith? Of all the songs, Miami by Will Smith, my living room doesn't look like Miami. Like, I've never left the UK in my life before, but I know what Miami looks like, and it's not that.
That's it!
Right, okay, so this kinda reads as her wanting to kill the wasp with fire? What was the point in leaving your house if you were able to literally just catch it as soon as you put your pants on, you moron? So, that's the end of the video. Oh, that was rough to watch. I genuinely feel upset now. Alright, moving very, very swiftly onwards. So yeah, Silly Society School. This was a series that Ivy started about a month after I started Superdusk. It's basically her alternative to it. Basically just very strange school with a dumbass teacher. And yeah, it's all Playmobil. However, the walls are made of IKEA iPad stands, because of course they are. Yeah, so Silly Society School Episode 1. I remember this being significantly better than Superdusk, though it's not really saying a ton, considering what we've had to watch so far.
The Silly Society School.
Why do I keep falling?
Because you have an iron deficiency,
I'm okay.
perhaps? Sir, can I just ask, why have you gone to school, in just your shorts?
Miss, I've got a question.
Mister, I've got a question. Can you look after the class while I go to university? Bye.
Okay, so I don't think you can become a teacher without a university degree. So, yeah, this episode's called Miss Petals Goes to Jail, by the way, so I'm gonna keep a tally of how many crimes are committed here. I'm gonna start off and just say this feels like fraud right off the bat, so that's 1. Second of all, no other adults in the building, so that's child neglect, so already on 2.
I've left the children I own on my own. I mean,
The children oh, okay, so that's slavery now, that's 3.
That's not true. Oh, okay, I admit it. I was trying to go to university.
Okay, just instantaneously back down, well done, you genius.
Check out the classroom.
Champion!
Oh! You did have to go. I appreciate that you're actually putting in visual effects, but you did have to put in the pick stream. I think it's safe to say that she's probably under the influence of some sort of illegal substance.
Say the words with me. You're under arrest.
What type of Broadway-ass law enforcement is this? But yeah, that's the Silly Society School. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that one at least was slightly better. Wasn't particularly great by any means, but better. Okay, next up we have Rampage of the Raptors. This is in the same camp of Batty Special Tractor, in that, you know, it's not particularly good per se, but if you were to tell me to name, say, 10 Dirk and Funtime videos, this would definitely be there.
Happy birthday, boss! Merry Christmas! G. What? Just W-A-T. Which way you just said Merry Christmas?
Okay, to be fair to the officer, this was filmed on the 21st of December 2018. Now, why do I know that when this video didn't release until the 1st of January 2019? I've got a very weird memory. Because, like, I can't really remember stuff that you'd have thought I'd be able to remember vividly, like the time that I nearly drowned back in July. Like, I remember myself describing it after it happened, but I don't remember it actually happening. But I can remember vividly that on the 1st of April 2023 at approximately 2:14 p.m, I was boarding a 3 from Orick Park in Edinburgh. Why? I don't fucking know.
Hey, thanks. Lovely champagne.
Guy got a little bit too excited about the champagne. Like, I get that you're getting champagne on your birthday when you work in the law enforcement, but I think if you're meant to be a responsible police chief, you shouldn't just... I don't know if I want that clip on the internet, actually. What in the porky pig is this police officer? That's all, folks. Okay, why were we singing Michael Jackson there? Like, it's a damn good song, but, like, what's the context?
Hello. Oh, giant, scaly thingy.
Okay, I remember Felix took that like an absolute champ. Because that Victorian Playmobil house, like, that shit was heavy. Yeah, and then we were playing that exact same Michael Jackson song for the credits because we sung it for, like, 30 seconds in this. Yeah, so that's Rampage of the Raptors. Again, not great, but I would say it's better than a lot of what we've watched so far today. I've stumbled across one that I don't remember adding, and I don't even remember as a whole, to be honest. Fuzzy Wuzzy for Life. Yeah, I can't say that I remember this one. Oh, fuck no, I do. this isn't the most egregious thing that we're going to be watching today. But this is probably the one I don't want to watch the most. I just don't like watching clips of me singing. It can be from like 2 weeks ago or like 10 years ago. It'll still make me upset. That's probably a good time to actually see what I have installed on this iPod, because I think, so that I don't have to put up with this, I'm gonna see what tracks I have on this and maybe listen to actually, you know, quality music.
Fuzzy wuzzy, fuzzy wuzzy, fuzzy wuzzy, fuzzy wuzzy, fuzzy.
Yes, thank you, Ivy. It's not fair! Thank God I don't have to listen to that egregious piece of shit. Yeah. I'm Fuzzy Wuzzy for life. I can see maybe 3-year-olds getting very mild enjoyment out of it. The problem is, I'm 15. And I've actually got semi-decent music taste nowadays. Emphasis on the semi-decent. Okay, now skipping forward about 6 months, we have our 2,000 subscriber special, YouTube is Broken.
So what do you want to watch? Turkey Fun Time!
Alright, you narcissists.
Breaking news. YouTube is having problems functioning and says that many YouTubers have more subscribers than they actually do, such as Dirk and Funtime. If you click on Dirk and Funtime, the TV will turn off automatically.
No! No! The television turned off! No, that's so sad! Oh, if only it were as simple as just pressing the power button to turn it back on again. Oh, God, that sucks so much.
YouTube's broken! Ah!
Yeah, okay, so the thing with that scream was, I really badly hurt my ear doing that. But not because Ivy screamed in my face there, but rather because I was just getting over some sort of illness. I think it left me with quite a bit of aching in my mouth. And when I screamed, my bottom jaw got so like tight and painful that the pain spread up to my ear. So for the rest of the day, I just had a ringing feeling. But
YouTube is broken.
valid reaction! Valid reaction!
Breaking news. Turns out YouTube isn't broken after all. Turns out it was just all a false alarm.
Yeah, guys, we are so close to 300 subscribers, so if you subscribed right now, we could hit it by the end of the month. I know for a fact that by doing that, the viewer retention just absolutely dropped beyond sea level. So yeah, that's YouTube is broken. Major plot hole in the whole, they never mentioned that you can't upload videos. It just affected your subscriber count. And also you couldn't actually click on their channel. But otherwise, I guess it's decent.
This is Mr. Cheese. And Mr. Cheese is a pyromaniac. When he was a kid, he burned his house down while listening to Burn Baby Burn. After this event, Mr. Cheese realized how much he enjoyed setting stuff on fire.
Brothers! And ever since then,
Burn, baby, burn!
he is people's #1 mouse, especially since the dead one's Clovis brings in after dark are quite unpleasant. Look at his gnarly spaceship.
That's funny, to be fair, I'm gonna be honest.
Born and raised in Ohio.
Oh my god, of course I had to make an Ohio joke. It was early 2023, those were all the rage, and I was a complete idiot. Yeah, so that was introducing Mr. Cheese. That was the only appearance I think Mr. Cheese ever made on the channel. You know, I think the joke about the dead voles was kind of funny. And that is about as funny as that video got. But I think the editing was somewhat on point, and also Disco Inferno is an absolute banger. So our last video of the day is the one I'm not really going to dawdle on particularly much, since it's the only one of these that's public. And it is Bus News Episode 2, which you can literally view if you look at this channel's Bus News playlist. Yeah, I was sort of not sure how many CSB videos I was going to include in this. I just kind of decided that the best one to cover was probably episode 2 of Bus News, because I think that marked a very big changing point in CSB. Because before that, we were kind of just, you know, any old bus veg, you know, somewhat inadequate bus spotting videos or FRVs or whatever. But I feel like we've fleshed our content out a lot more, and now we do a lot more than just bus spotting nowadays. First of all, there's the wee sort of 3-minute animatic about the changes to Lothian services that me and Charlie did. This was the first time Charlie ever did anything for CSB. But yeah, he was the one who actually wrote the script for it all. I just kind of did the animating and some of the voice lines. But I think whilst the animating is, sure, really quite choppy, I think if we look at, say, the route map for the 41 getting withdrawn and replaced with, say, the 22 and the 8 and the 9 and 47, I think that came out really well, which I was quite pleased with. But yeah, now I have to animate quite a lot of stuff for CSB and whatnot, for like which is faster and stuff, so I feel like this sort of fleshed that out.
Hello there, guys.
I forgot how high-pitched my voice was back then, because now this is sort of how deep my voice is normally when I'm talking, unless I'm sort of being like this all the time. But yeah, that was just me sort of talking normally, and it's really quite high-pitched. I'm sort of speaking like this for some reason.
I can't do this on my own because I'm not very independent.
Oh, how that's changed. Back then, I didn't feel confident going much beyond Edinburgh city centre. And now, I'll just wake up at 6, be bored, and go to, like, Greenock or somewhere.
Charlie won!
I really like the sort of documentary style I went with this. I wish I did that more with bus news stuff. To be fair, I always prefer doing the out-of-studio segments for bus news compared to, say, when I'm sat at this desk discussing, I don't know, vehicle movements for Lothian buses or whatever. Even then, not a lot of bus news episodes are really in this style. Like, I do have the Clyde Fastlink documentary I did back in July, which, if that hasn't released as of this video releasing, it should be out in the next, probably like 2 weeks. And then there was The Abandoned, which was in a fairly similar style to this, except in a 4:3 aspect ratio with a grayscale filter over it. But I think I could honestly, if I wanted to, do a lot more videos in this sort of documentary-ish style.
I believe I am going to race Morty.
Wait, what?
And if it weren't for that, we wouldn't be doing our bus news races. And if it weren't for the bus news races, we wouldn't have started Which is Faster, which is basically what caused us to start doing CSB Time Attack after that. And then we've got Tag Across Edinburgh, which we started after we'd done quite a few episodes of the bus news races. And then Tag Across Edinburgh became Tag Across Dunfermline, and then we did Edinburgh Transport Speedrun earlier this year, and presumably a lot more games to come. But yeah, I'm honestly just really chuffed with what CSB has sprouted into. So much of what CSB is nowadays, I kind of have Charlie to thank for. Admittedly, not that I ever will, since I'm the CSB guy, not him. He can go fuck. But yeah, I would highly advise checking this out if you can, because I'm not really going to be covering much more than that. But yeah, that's all the 12 videos I wanted to go through. 10 years of YouTube. That's mad. I'm still struggling to process that. I feel like we've kind of managed to cover the bad, the worse, and the ugly with all of this. Admittedly, you know, Bus News Episode 2, that's actually pretty decent, even for modern day CSB standards. I'm really happy with how this has gone. Admittedly, is it a bit insane that our mum gave in and let Ivy start a YouTube channel? Yes, but if it weren't for Ivy's desperation, I wouldn't be in the position I am currently. So I've got to thank her for that. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves, folks.